Hey guys, welcome to EURUSD weekly review. We're going to go over what went down since Sunday open on November 30th all the way through this past Friday. We're going to try to break down Friday as well in this video, maybe a couple of their setups if I can show them. And then we'll finish off with what I'm starting to look at for the Sunday open tomorrow, December 7th. So we started off over here on Sunday. You can see that we pushed through this level Friday night, Friday morning, and then we kind of just consolidated there. This is an hour chart right here. Just kind of sat there all afternoon, and on Sunday at the open, you can see how we pushed through, came back down. That's the trigger for the reclaim there, and then that level to level move popped directly to this magnet and this zone before selling back down and setting up, you have it, a failed breakdown of this shelf of lows on Sunday at 10 p.m. Afterwards, which we hit this level one more time, giving us some acceptance, came back down, didn't lose this low, so your position wouldn't have been lost overnight. And then we pushed through this hard on Monday overnight. I mean, you're talking from 1600 up to 1650, so over 50 points right there on that very simple setup. You could have been long on the reclaim here, give yourself a little space on the stop loss. Otherwise, you should have taken the failed breakdown here Sunday night, and that worked awesome. So from there, Sunday into Monday morning, we hit this zone exact and started selling off. Not much was present all afternoon, all morning. We pretty much just sold off, and then we kind of found some space here to drift off Monday night into Tuesday. You can see overnight Tuesday, this was a clear resistance, as would this zone be. Because this is about 6 points apart at this point, you could potentially long above this level to target the one above. We'll get into that in a second. Here on the 45-minute, 1 hour chart zone, you can see we had a little failed breakdown overnight, possibly multiple ones. You can see the first dip right here below this low, and that went up. That could have been a long, and then a second setup right here at 5 a.m. That worked out to backtest this zone one more time. If you missed all that, you could have entered at 7 a.m. on the reclaim of this level, and that worked level to level for 6 points before we sold off from this level down here to offer yet again a failed breakdown 2 times on Tuesday morning. And I want to go into a 30-minute chart now just so we can see that in real time if you don't believe me. Here's the first setup. We lost this low, immediately bounced back up, and went, let's say the entry for this low would have been about this macro level, this major level, so at 1602, that went straight up for 13 points or more. Great trade. We came back down, quick sweep of the low at 1130. We love a double fail breakdown where the first fail breakdown gets undercut. I longed this one heavy. It's definitely something I'm looking for. Went that one right back up, and that one was the setup of the week, because that would have had you long from around, let's say 1602 for maybe 80 points. That would have been type of long that you could take the rest of the week off with. From there on Wednesday overnight, we just kind of consolidated around this zone, and we had a little dip in recovery into this area. We have a low here too. We undercut it around 3:30 a.m. That pushed the fire for more upside. Wednesday morning, we kind of just sat at this zone for a while, consolidated. There's some setups here that were a little choppy, but they definitely worked out. That popped us up a little more until Wednesday afternoon. We started consolidating sideways again, just chop, chop, chop. I've been seeing this flag develop. I believe that's what we're working around right now, as well as potentially a triangle within it. So kind of looking at both. They're evolving. They're not really used for taking longs because that's too risky, but it just gives you an idea of what areas to look for a setup. So just off the top of my head right now, you can see how this flag support is right below this key zone. So I could definitely anticipate us selling past this key zone, dipping a little bit underneath, and then recovering for a nice push back up. Looking back at the rest of the week, on Thursday, we kind of just consolidated back, sat on this. It wasn't much to do, but we had the shelf of lows here, so I was waiting for that to hit and accept. And lo and behold, Thursday night, what did? We hit that level. We sold off. That's acceptance. And then we started pushing back up overnight. Luckily, I was awake just to catch this, enter a little position, and that worked great level to level. We hit this resistance and sold back down. At that point now, I had an A plus setup that I was anticipating for Friday, and I was gonna wait for that setup and no other setup. Let's see how that worked. There was a clear low marked here on Wednesday overnight that went for 1635 for almost 50 points. I'm definitely interested in the volatile liquidity grab of this low. I marked it with a red line. I waited for us to lose it, and then the race was on. Now, the green line is a trigger, and we're going to go into a 15-minute chart now as we break it down. Hopefully, you don't need to see that low anymore. You can trust me. You can see how we lost it. We hit it, sold back down more, started to accept it, and from there, we came up to the trigger, hit that, sold down, and then started pushing up. Two ways you could have entered this as I go down to a 5-minute chart. First off, there was some great acceptance at the low itself, and we had a very important zone there. So you can see how we came up, we hit that low, sold down, started pushing back up, hit it again, sold down, and then push back up. That is awesome acceptance, multiple acceptances. And if you weren't ready for that, we pushed through and then sold back down again. At 12:05, I went long. This was enough for me. I was ready to take at least half a position just to get started in case it decided to go like a rocket ship up. Then we got acceptance at the trigger. We hit the trigger, popped up a couple times, came back down. One could have went long here if they wanted to after the acceptance of the trigger and how it stayed above for at least 5-10 minutes. And then it came back down just to trap people a little more and then started pushing up. That was a nice, let's see, about 10 points from the trigger, 13 points from the low. That's the type of trade where you just enter with confidence. It's going to work level to level. I don't know if it goes more than that, but that's not my concern. And honestly speaking, that's what the whole game is about. Take your trade level to level, get your points, and then leave a runner, let the trade work. And if it doesn't, that means you're going to anticipate the next setup. So I'm going to delete this. Well, actually, I'll move it down. And my next setup now for Euro USD in this open, the first setup will be a potential dip and recovery of this zone once again. But now that it's been tested once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times, it's definitely not as reliable. So I'm looking for now a flush and a failed breakdown of the lows from Friday as my first A plus setup. It's not that far from the recent little high we had on Friday, about 20 points, but it's better than nothing, and it's definitely a clear low that went from 1628 for about 20 points. So let's see if we can get that. However, I anticipate if we do sell, we'll probably sell back into this zone over here. So I'm going to have to do a little due diligence and figure out what the exact zone is in that area. It's about 6 points right now. Once I figure that out, I do think that will be the better setup. Maybe we get some structure there before the actual setup. So that could mean something like selling down, hitting that zone that's here, bouncing up, rejecting around this low, and then making another new low. And then you can use the low that was set here as the failed breakdown low for your entry purposes. So the entry will probably be something around 1625 or 1622 in this area, I believe. So that's the area I'm looking for entry. I'm looking for some selling down here, some dip and recoveries for Euro USD. If we continue to sell more, these lows from Sunday, the 30th, and Tuesday the 2nd are definitely of interest. If we can lose all of them and undercut them for a failed breakdown, I'd be very happy. At the very least, if we lose one or two and we don't quite get below this, that would be a shallow failed breakdown. So I would anticipate it being very fast and sudden, a quick snap if you would. So if that's the case, I'd want to clear 5 points on the highest low here. So that's this one right here. It's about 1591. So about 1596 or so. So somewhere in this area, I'd be looking for an entry for the failed breakdown of this low. If that happens too fast, this level right here could be one of recovery as well. So more on Euro USD soon. Hope that helps. Have a great day, guys.